can't find one black man in your community, one black man that you can fucking put up on a fucking pedestal and show all these kids what it means to be a strong, powerful black man. And you don't have to be a fucking comic book hero and have special powers and know martial arts to be a fucking a strong black man, to represent black men. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be fake. You don't have to be a fantasy. That's a fantasy. You're saying that, well, this is what I hear when I hear people say, oh yeah, this is, they're like, yeah, this movie is good for black kids. It's making them feel like they can see themselves in a stronger light. In a fantasy? In a fantasy? This is a fantasy movie. This is not real life. Where's the real life one? Do it over. I want to do over it. I want it to be realistic. I want it real life. I want a real life man. A real life black man doing real life black shit. Fucking the real world. Go find some actors from the hood. Like, why didn't they go straight to Africa and get actors? Fresh off of Africa. You know how many beautiful African women and men would have loved to play parts in this movie? How many of those extras in the movies were actually African people? What did $150 million in revenue do for Africa? They talked about Africa left and right. Africa is like in everybody in the fucking country's mouth right now. Africa, 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 Africa. They're buying Africa replicas. They're selling African shirts. They're selling African this, dashikis, and blah, 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 blah. What is that doing for African people? How is it beneficial for black people and African people that this movie came out? Please tell me. Besides the fact that they're making, oh, they made black people look strong and powerful. Okay, what else? Do you need a movie to make black people look strong and powerful? Do you guys really feel like that? Do you really feel like that we can't just look strong and powerful on our own without a box office movie? I know a lot of strong, powerful black men. Smart. My brother is one, okay? Strong, smart, powerful black man. Influential. You can look up to him any day. Takes care of, went to school, graduated, did sports, take care of his wife, his kids. Faithful. Protects and serves. My kids don't need the Black Panther movie to show them that a black man could be strong and powerful and influential, because they see it when they see my brother. For real. Like, why do we need, like, let's not let ourselves be told when and how to think every single time. They're like, here you go, black people. Hey, let's do this one for the black people. Let's make this Black Panther movie, right? We're going to watch all the black people come out and spend all their black dollars. And they're going to start, you know, they're going to think that, yeah, we're going to have them on our team. You know, they're going to be on our side right now. Like, we're going to distract these black people right now. It's Black History Month. It's a lot of black issues going on around. Let's just make this Black Panther movie. Let's give black people this. What else did they give you for Black History Month? A fucking holiday? A day off of work? School talks about Martin Luther King Jr. It's played out. Let's learn some more about black history. Can we learn something new? Do we have to repeat the same thing every fucking year? There's way more things for us. There's way more. We are way deeper than this one man, Martin Luther King. We are way more deeper than this one fucking movie. We are way more deeper than a fucking box office sales. I really want to see black people, like, stop spending their money on bullshit. For real. For real. Like, idolizing these fucking rich-ass black movie stars and these rich-ass fucking Kanye Wests and fucking Jay-Z's and all this shit. Please. Please. You want to tell me, people be telling me like, oh yeah, they do this, and they don't do shit. These motherfuckers live in houses that can fit a fucking, your whole fucking community in. Your whole damn apartment complex. They can feed your whole fucking family. They got money. They ain't doing shit. They got so much money that they don't know what to do with their money. Their goal is to save money. Like, they look at their bank account and they see dollars stacking that they won't even be able to spend that money. Like, what could you possibly need to spend that much money on in your life that you can't be happy with less? We should put caps on how much these motherfuckers can make. And then move the fuck on and let a new actor come in. Why we got these damn same actors for years and years and years and years and years? Like, they ain't no motherfucking other actors. I know actors here in my fucking community that are some good ass actors. I know some kids that could act some shit out of some shit, okay? They can act so good. Why? Why are we set up this way in society? And it's like, y'all, you know, us, y'all, everybody, black people, we need to realize that we're powerful already. We are so fucking powerful and influential. It is ridiculous. You got white country singers doing R&B now. Rock and roll, they doing R&B. We are so influential. Everyone wants to be black. Everyone wants tan skin. Everyone wants curly hair. You know what I'm saying? Full lips. Big asses. Big titties. People want to be black. You understand this? They do. That's not enough to tell you how powerful you are? You can't just look around and see how powerful you are? You can't look around. We can't just look around and see how much influence that we have in society, on the world. We can't just look around and see how much we are idolized. Just because it's not actions, baby. Actions. Just because they don't say it, I see it. I see it. We don't see it. We don't capitalize on it. We just let it go right over our head. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. We can be everything that black people want to be. And more. And I feel like, and when I was talking the movie and they were watching the show and they were talking about the reviews, and, you know, the guy's like, yeah, you know, I liked it because, you know, we're talking about my people. Like, this is a black dude from Richmond. Okay? Not from Africa. Not like Lupita and the other girl. They're from, you know, Africa. Okay? This guy's not. I'm sorry, you guys, to have to be the one to say this, but I just want to say this. African American is a very loose term that's used very loosely, you know? And I think you need to break down those words and race, African, American, ethnicity, culture. Break that shit down and tell me again what we are. I don't consider myself African. I'm sorry. I was not born in Africa. I am black. Yes. My daddy's black. My grandpa's Creole. Do I consider myself Creole? I don't know Creole culture. I can't speak French. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't raised in Louisiana. I wasn't raised by my grandpa. You know, I was raised by my white mom. I don't identify as Creole. You know what I'm saying? I definitely identify as black. You know, you can't shake it. I don't give a fuck. I'm in America. And I definitely don't identify as a African American. I mean, I click African American on the box because I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I click that. I click Caucasian. I click African American. I click Indian, Native American. You know, it's like we all do. We like to click hella shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what the fuck we are. So we like to click, 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 click. You know? African American. What is African American? Was there never a... How many generations ago was there an African in your bloodline? Because my grandpa was born in the United States. He was American. My great-grandpa was American, born here. And I'm pretty sure my great-great. I don't know. So that's already 3 generations ahead of me. Behind me. You know what I'm saying? They came before me. That they are not African. So, I mean, I don't know how I can actually consider myself African, you know? my kids, their dad, he was born in America. Is he Asian? Technically, he's Lao. Asian, that's an American term. That's a Western term used to identify people that come from that continent. Get it? Australian, that's a Western term used to identify people coming from that continent. European, that is a Western term used to identify people coming from that continent. American, that is a term used to identify people coming from this continent. You know, South American, that's to identify people coming from that continent. So it's like, what is African American? African American would be a African that's American. So that would mean that you would have to be African originally and then American. So you're African American, Asian American. Get it? Mexican American. I don't know if this is even making any sense to anybody, or I don't even know if this is going way over people's head. Are they really following me here? But like, there's some logic behind what the fuck I'm talking about. And if you like really just think about it and not this, just think about what I'm saying, I think that you'll see that I actually have some valid points that about black people being the most influential people in history, and for our history, generational history, the books that we could touch, I guess, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Our history, like not ancient Egyptian history. That's not our history. That's ancient history. Okay, ancient. I mean, our history, like meaning the last like 400-500 years, like documented history. I don't even know how many fucking years, thousands of years, whatever the hell. I don't honestly feel like you need to look in books for shit like that. That's kind of like common. Like you can kind of just look around and know that what your generation is and what the generation before you was and before that. Now I don't know about before. I might not know nothing about that, but I was raised in this generational period, you know, not in ancient Egypt, but in my generational period, not before Christ, you know, in this period of time. Black people are so influential and they fail to realize it, and we fail to use our influence to our betterment. Does that make sense? Like to better ourselves, you know? Instead, we're too busy trying to live out a dream of a European dream, you know, like and then it's like, I want to ask people like, okay, so you want to be African so bad, like if you want to be African so bad, then be African. Don't be American. What do Africans do? I mean, like, what kind of African do you want to be? What kind of African are we talking about now? Are we still talking about ancient African, like back in the slave days, like when they used to actually like wear their tribal gear and shit like that? The indigenous African? Is that what type of African American we are? Or what kind of African American are we? So are we the new age African? But if we're the new age African, then it doesn't count, because like the African that we came from was the generational back then African. Like I'm confused. I want to know what kind of African we are. Are we like, what are we, African like from Africa African? Or are we just African in the sense that we're black African? Like, are black people African? Do Africans in Africa call each other black? Do they say that he was black, or do they say African, or do they say Nigerian, or I can't think of any other fucking African cultures right now. Oh my God. Nigerian is my sister-in-law, so And I know I was just watching them talk about all this shit. But anyways, so like, do you think they call each other all black, or do they call each other by their culture? The culture, not their race, their culture. Because their race is what? Human race. Human race. That's our race. We are human beings. This is the human race. Do you understand that? How